just emphasise what Terry was saying there. Justin Holbrook's team, 127 points scored, the best. They've conceded the fewest, 32. And they've run in 21 tries, conceding only 5. And the big match referee is last season's grand final man in the middle. It's James Child. What a night for Warrington and Jack Hughes and company. Can they really get their season going? Chris Hill saying in the pre-match build-up that he believes they're a match for anyone on their day. And Mark Percival, James Roby, it's a glittering night here at Warrington. And there he is, Mr. Evergreen himself, 36-year-old Ben Westwood. He has seen these occasions, he's been there, he has got the T-shirt during the course of the past 20 years. Right, so we're just about ready to go. A fireworks spectacular before the kick-off, and this should be pretty good. Round 5 of the Betfred Super League. Warrington Saints live from the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and Stefan Ratchford gets what should be one of the plum fixtures of the weekend underway. Richardson is underneath the kick-off. Here comes Kyle Amor, and look at that for a chase from the Warrington forwards.
It's not a bad hit, is it, for the opening one from Ben Westwood and Mike Cooper, really getting stuck into Kyle Amor. To win this game, Eddie, I believe that it's all about the ruck speed. You've got James Roby and Darrell Clark, both of those players behind the ruck, playoff speed, both former Man of Steel winners. I think it's going to be won all around this area.
And Westwood looks in the mood. That was a ferocious hit that just came in on Thompson. Look at that. No thought of self-preservation from Ben Westwood. This now is Amor. They've only got to the 40-metre line. This is the last tackle. Richardson with the kick, and it floats out on the fall. First mistake from the young halfback.
Well, it's pressure on the youngster, isn't it? You can see from marker outside as well, pushing in and really getting into his eye line. Andy Richardson only made his debut in round 1 last year against Leeds Rhinos. I think he's a tremendous talent.
Justin Holbrook will agree with you. He's keeping former international Matty Smith out of the side at the moment. So now it's Warrington's turn to use the ball and attack. And there is Darrell Clark at dummy half. It was Chris Hill who was playing the ball to him. Kevin Brown is back in the side. Ben Murdoch-Masila puts the ball down on only the second tackle, so that's a bit of a waste for Warrington.
Well, looking to give that ball to the big fella. Caused an awful lot of problems, doesn't he, with so when he first came over there. When he played at Salford on that right edge, he's big, he's powerful, he gets into his stride, gets rid of defenders. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Saints' left-hand side, but I think from Warrington, that's going to be a good battle. Warrington's right against Saints' left edge.
And Murdoch-Masila, the Tongan international, he was in the last 2 World Cups, and the only Salford player, or one of the only 2 Salford players to ever make it into the dream team at the end of the season, at the end of 2017, and a big money signing for Warrington, but his mistake has given St Helens this reprieve, and they are in possession right on the halfway line.
Another player who's played really well this year, Luke Thompson, goes really hard. Saints quite content just to keep the ball in the middle, looking for these quicker rucks. And that's always a good sign when you see James Roby getting out of dummy half. That shows that they're winning the ruck. And now a high tackle, the first penalty of the game, and could be an easy 2-point here, Eddie.
Yes, if Saints decide to take it, and they might do. Up around at the top of the shoulders, Ben Murdoch-Masila right under the chin, and they've decided to run it. They've kicked for touch to the far side. So Ben Murdoch-Masila with the opening exchanges in the opening 3 minutes, he will hope his night gets a little bit better. Here is Amor again, and St Helens now 11 metres away from the Warrington line. It was Richardson. Here goes Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He gets them to within about half a metre of the line. Roby is waiting at dummy half for the Saints. Fires the pass, and nowhere for Thompson to go. That's good defence from those 3. Roby again. Gives it a bit of space this time to Richardson. Further wide to Lomax. Short ball. Ooh, he steamed onto that, didn't he? He was moving really, really quickly then. It was Zeb Teya. This is Thompson. He's jinking his way through. But it's a penalty because he ran round the back of his own player.
Then Ben Murdoch-Masila was just some interference then. And he gets this ball, he cuts back a good angle, but you can see then that he's penalised because it's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook just steps into Ben Murdoch-Masila. Can't let him get a clean tackle on him. A lot of good movement from Saints near Warrington's try line in the opening few minutes of this game.
0-0, 4 minutes gone. Warrington back in possession here. And Ryan Atkins was the man who played the ball. Ryan Atkins, 350th career appearance for him. Darrell Clark into the centre of the field to Tyrone Roberts. Here is Kevin Brown, drops the pass off to Jack Hughes, who loses the ball forward in the challenge. Richardson picks it up, it's the free play. It's Makinson now. Makinson running laterally, then he straightens it up, gets over the halfway line.
Well, he'll be disappointed with that then, Steve Price, knowing that they're in good field position. Over in Saints' half, and Ben Barber, look at the push around the man who's carrying the ball centre field.
Makinson from dummy half, the ball played by Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Warrington's defence has the answers to that particular foray. Here now is Thompson with a big drive down the middle. Westwood and Hill standing firm. Roby again, 20 metres away. Gives it to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. A couple of strong runs from him already in this match. He goes down tackle number 4, 12 metres out. Roby comes down the right-hand side this time. Richardson pops the ball up to Makinson. Makinson, he evades the challenge of Westwood. He flings one away, and Ryan Atkins has to come in and deal with the threat with a bit of help from Stephen Ratchford. Down he goes on tackle number 5. Richardson goes back the same way. Short pass, Percival for St Helens. Mark Percival gets the first try of the night. The league leaders are underway. And Mark Percival, a career first hat-trick in round 1 against Castleford. And he's opened the scoring here inside the first 6 minutes.
Well, he's in tremendous form, isn't he, Mark Percival? I think he's one of the best centres that we've got in the English game. Certainly is hot property. And every game he just seems to keep getting better and better. You see that Hughes loses the ball just in Saints' territory. Saints looking to offload the ball, and Tommy Makinson bounces across the field, gets over to Saints' left-hand side. And then this is where the space is created. They fake as though it's going to go open side. Danny Richardson fixes Ben Murdoch-Masila, who turns his hips in. And that is a powerful, aggressive line from Percival.
A really smart call from the half-back, Danny Richardson. He said he's looking forward to matching it against Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown, the stand-off in the first team. Richardson looking to break into that. He spots the big man and exposes him.
Rain pouring down as Richardson kicks the first successful conversion of the night, and St Helens are 6-0 up.
Well, here's the handoff from Tommy Makinson. He gets rid of Tyrone Roberts. Saints, with that possession early on in the game, are giving every a chance. And they basically keep it simple on the last play. Give it to your most dangerous attacking runner of the ball. Have some decoy runners around him like James Roby to hold off some of the defenders. And then when the opposition are expecting a kick, run the play. They've done it very effectively. They've been brilliant at starting games well this season, Eddie. Now, well, that's 11 tries scored and only 1 conceded in the first halves that they've played so far this year. Really, they are taking control of the match in that first 40. And Warrington's handling mistakes are making it easier.
It's a deep kick-off. Richardson gives it to Amor again, same as the original kick-off, and Amor pops the ball up, and that's not the best place to do that, and Darrell Clark has swooped on the mistake. That's the 0 tackles. Warrington have got 6 more from here, 5 metres out. Can they respond immediately? Mike Cooper almost getting his way through. Well, here's a test of that defence that hasn't conceded too many tries in the opening 40 minutes so far. Brown gets it wide. The chance here now for Toby King. He is brought down. And it's Lynham, and they suddenly went to sleep down the short side of the Saints defence. But I think they got themselves, they heard the alarm clock, and they managed to hold him up.
But a powerful winger gets over the line, but fortunately for St Helens, that's his pet play, Tommy Lynham. Big and strong, he gets down low, but Saints handle him.
Here now is Hill, charging it down the middle. That's 4 tackles gone. Clark again. Gives it to Brown. Brown then finds Roberts. Dinks it over the top, looking for Mitch Brown on the outside. Regan Grace comes to the rescue for St Helens. Goal line dropper.
He wasn't taking any chances. He wasn't trying to catch this ball. He knew that Mitch Brown was right up behind him in a perfect position to catch this. And the young winger just doesn't take chances, knocks it out of the field. Good play. Drop off, more pressure here now from Warrington.
Well, this is the first occasion Warrington Wolves, and Phil said it, they've made too many mistakes, too many errors for Steve Price, the coach is liking, but at last they've got a little bit of sustained pressure. And what can they do with this field position?
Well, there's no question that Stephen Price has tightened this defence, but there are people asking whether it's come at the cost of a little bit of flair. Last year they scored an average of 18 points a game with Warrington. In the first 5 of 2018, 13 points, 2 tries a game on average, as against 3.2 on average last year. Here is Darrell Clark, back in the England thoughts. So too this man, Ratchford, short ball, King again. Toby King grounded. Kevin Brown. Brown then to Chris Hill, straight line from Hill. He only knows one way, does Chris Hill. Amor was there quickly, so too was Thompson, big man on big men. This now is Brown, short ball to Roberts, quick hands to Murdoch Masilla. Percival was all over him, managed to stop the momentum, but a quick play the ball to Clark. Brown stabbed it to the in-goal area again, and I think Ryan Atkins is claiming a try, but it's been knocked dead by Regan Grace again, says James Child, though he's having a word with his touch judge. And he might just ask video referee Robert Hicks to check that they've both got this right, because Atkins was up quickly and saying he'd scored, but this isn't a video referee decision.
Again, there's some pressure on the youngster, isn't there? Atkins and Brown really putting some pressure on young Regan Grace.
He has hold of that,
yeah,
Grace,
there's no
doesn't
problem
he?
here.
Grace has grounded that ball, he's in possession of it. I think this will be a goal line dropout confirmed.
Maybe James Child and the touch judge slightly concerned the way that Ryan Atkins was up or on his feet rather, and celebrating what was no try.
It was a good sell, wasn't it? We'll give him that.
So the goal line dropout, and back come Warrington now with Ben Westwood.
He's had a good start, Westwood. Really imposing himself on attack and defence.
He has. Here is Hill. There's nothing like matches like this, though, is there, to get the adrenaline flowing in the players and in the spectators and in the people in the commentary box as well. This should be, and is building up to be, despite the weather, really tremendous contest. 10 minutes gone, Saints leading 6-0. Ben Murdoch Masilla on the charge.
That's what he needs, an early ball away from the line.
Go for Clark. Roberts, another kick to the in-goal area. Ball was all over the place. And Amor, well, there's a bit of a push and a shove going on here, because Amor got a real heavy clout when he was on the ground. Ben Westwood involved, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook involved as well.
Well, the first 2 players in, weren't they? Ben Westwood. He's never that far away from the action. Benny Westwood.
Amor's back was exposed, there was no protection here.
But wasn't he trying to push him over the dead ball and in his defence? I understand the concern you've got, I hope he is okay. But they're attempting to force him back, aren't they? Until there's contact with him, the tackle wasn't completed. At that point, I suppose it was.
It was that one, it was the second one. It was
Tyrone Roberts gets there later, doesn't he?
It was Tyrone Roberts that come in, and Louis McCarthy took exception.
He's fallen off him though, so is that tackle still complete?
Stuart?
Well, I think he's entitled to come in as second man. It's Louis McCarthy Scarborough getting involved that is the issue there.
Stuart, I don't think it's the initial flop on, I think it's the hand in the face.
Well, James
Kyle Amor.
Child was happy with it, I think.
Well, it was Tyrone Roberts who came in late, and then Ben Westwood got involved. Let's see what the referee says.
We don't need you coming in, getting involved in that situation. Doesn't involve you. The penalty goes to St Helens. I'm going to speak to Louis as well about his situation. Louis, don't get yourself involved, all right?
I was picking him up, wasn't I? And then Billy coming in.
Don't get involved.
Well, you get excited in defence, and especially down near the opposition's try line. I think it's not this. It's not even when he lands on. It's the little hand in the face that goes in, and then that's what really winds Louis McCarthy up.
Can't have an intense game of rugby league without a little bit of that, Eddie. It adds to the edge, doesn't it, for the spectators, for the players. Zeb Taylor seems to be injured.
He is.
He's talking to, again, it's Ben Westwood heavily involved in these early exchanges. It's good contact, a twist when they put the player to ground. Can't quite see from that angle if there's anything wrong. It could be a twist.
He just gets twisted over, doesn't it? His left knee seems to buckle under the sheer weight of Murdoch-Masila and Westwood.
And then he banged his head on the ground as well. But look, he still has hold of the football, and they're saying that this needs to be assessed. A concussion assessment for Zebteya. So he will leave the field.
They lost John Wilkin, a back row for St Helens at a similar point in the game last week. And recovered eventually. I suppose you've got 4 substitutes. Gives you a chance to put somebody else on.
And 3 of those subs for Saints are forwards.
I think it's Luke Douglas that's stepping up. Luke Douglas has come onto the field now.
Amor looks as though there's no damage done from that heavy challenge while he was lying on the floor. Roby. Thompson. He gets over the halfway line. Roby again. Richardson. And Dominic Peyrou goes down, tackle number 4. Roby again. And there's the first involvement from the substitute, Luke Douglas. Last one. Kick from Lomax is high and is claimed behind his own line by Mitch Brown, so it's going to be the restart.
Again, just hit a bit of a flat patch, those 2 injuries and 2 coming together. I just want everybody stop and think and take a deep breath, and we'll go again.
Westwood takes it forward for Warrington.
He's been good, Eddie, already. He's made 15 tackles as well as carrying the battle towards Saints.
And it's his 4th start tonight. He was substituting the other 2, so he hasn't missed a game yet. Ben Westwood at the ripe old age of 36. Clark. Here comes Hughes. Now Clark comes down the short side. This is Toby King. Good run from Toby King, filling in tonight for Bryson Goodwin. Tom Lyman couldn't pick the pass up.
That's a great short side play from Warrington. I think we'll see that again during the evening. Look at the recognition. He sells it by facing infield Darryl Clark. It's a 2v2. The skill wasn't good enough, but I think we'll see that again during the evening. Swift does well, makes the job difficult.
Do you think that's anxiety from King there, trying to force that pass? He wasn't in a great position to find the winger there. No, hasn't had a lot of starts. Bryson Goodwin's ahead of him in the team. And Chris Hill, the whole props, spoke before the game saying how they have to handle that frustration, prevent themselves from forcing passes when they get into attacking situations. They're aware, Eddie, of the stats that you've reckoned registered, that they're not scoring tries like they did in 2016 when they were a top side.
Huddersfield seem to be scoring points at Widnes. They lead 6-0. Early moments of that match there, which has an 8 o'clock kickoff. 6-0 to the Giants then, 6-0 to the away team here, the Saints, at the home of the Warrington Wolves. No major close season signings, of course, for St Helens, who get this penalty.
And Ben Murdoch-Masila recognising that he's trying to help the players. He can't get set a marker. He's lost that ruck. He gives the penalty away. Little discipline parts of the game.
Well, people have talked about penalties, haven't they? Warrington are conceding an average 3 penalties a game more than St Helens. It might be one of the reasons why they're struggling so much. It's 3 more sets of possession for your opponents, and then they've invited Saints into their half again.
Luke Douglas will play the ball to Roby. It comes into centre field to Richardson. Luke Thompson then takes it over again with a solid enough run, but it's met by a decent challenge from Jack Hughes. There's Roby once more. Richardson to Lomax. Lomax then to Makinson. He gets away from his opposite number, Lynham, but there were 2 lying in wait. Hughes and Darryl Clark. Roby. Richardson pops the pass up. It's Amor. They're 13, 14 metres away from the line as Roby picks it up at dummy half. He finds Richardson. Back it comes then to Ben Barber. First involvement from him. He stands. He gets the ball away. He's fortunate to get away with that. Amor's not fortunate enough. He doesn't get away with that. And Darryl Clark picks up the loose ball. Atkins, though, is surrounded by white jerseys.
Well, Kyle Amor looking to penetrate the line when he picks this ball up. He just loses it. I think Warrington over on the left. A few of them jammed in. I'm sure Saints will be looking at that again. They're wedging in, they're creating space, but now coming out of trouble. They get the penalty, and it's a game of inches, Eddie.
There's a player that's been consistent for Saints. The headline grab has been over on the left side with Zebteya, who's had to leave the pitch early, but Dominic Peru looks like a different player, playing in the back row under Justin Holbrook.
So penalty to Warrington. They start this set then just inside their own half. Westwood had to lean forward to collect that. Managed to hang on to it though. And Clark is waiting. St Helens will certainly test this Warrington defence tonight, but this Warrington attack will look here to try and turn the screw against Saints, and this man's in red-hot form, Ryan Atkins.
It's a good battle between Percival and Atkins, isn't it?
Here's Roberts, Tyrone Roberts, Kevin Brown, nice chip over the top into the open space. Adam Swift is after this, and Adam Swift has to knock the ball dead because he could hear Tom Lynham breathing heavily behind him, hunting a try.
Well, it's a strong part of Warrington's game. Whenever they get close to the opponent's line, the short kicking game is very good. Kevin Brown pulling the strings, knows exactly where he wants to place that, and then Tom Lynham getting on his bike and really pressurising Adam Swift.
Just wouldn't run dead for Swift, would it? It just, and that's surprising on a greasy surface.
The perfect kick from Kevin Brown. That's one thing he does bring to the game. A nice soft kicking game.
Isn't it surprising to see Louis McCarthy's cars put down here for goal line drop it, receiving some treatment from the physio.
Third goal line dropout from Warrington. The general there, Kevin Brown, dictating the play. He really does help Tyrone Roberts and frees him up.
And of course he got the nod for the World Cup final ahead of Johnny Lomax.
Oh, that was
back end of the year.
It was flipping and flapping all over the place, but Ben Roberts gets it for the Wolves.
And it was a big hit by Louis McCarthy's Carsbrook on Tyrone Roberts as well.
Yeah, Tyrone Roberts, not Ben Roberts.
This is Brown. He finds that man Roberts. He then in turn finds Jack Hughes.
Move! Hold! Hold!
They're tricky to deal with them.
Brown. It's Kevin Brown to Roberts again. This is Ratchford. Here's King. Coming in, but they're dealing with the threat. Richardson low down and Peru. Clark again, this time into the open side, and he finds Chris Hill. And the captain, aiming for the line, is halted by Thompson and company. Clark again. Oh, Brown, he just drops it. He saw Louis McCarthy coming out of the corner of his eye.
He's pressurising everyone, isn't he, LMS? He got in the eye line of Tyrone Roberts, dragged him to the ground before, and again, he knows where the player is who's going to be probably the most influential player in a Warrington jersey closer line. It's that man, Kevin Brown. Whether there's a bit of sledging going on, whether he's just getting up and really trying to put pressure on him. He's one of those players, Louis McCarthy, similar to Jake Connor at Hull FC, really likes to get under the skin of the opponents.
Here's Thompson again, driving it forward, and Hull KR will be driving it forward in the south of France tomorrow, they hope, against the Catalan Dragons, the winless Dragons against Rovers. Tomorrow afternoon, 4:55, we start on Sky Sports Arena. Hands in at the ruck here, meanwhile, against Warrington, another penalty for St Helens.
Big Al's on for St Helens, that's his first involvement. You really need to muscle up on Alex Walmsley. Control him, get good contact, control him on the way to the ground. They failed to do that, Warrington. He tries to play that ball and forces the whistle to be blown.
Here's Luke Douglas now.
Down! Move! Hold, Ben, hold.
Roby gets it away to Richardson. Richardson then just drops the pass off to McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Big part of the play tonight, St Helens. One pass away from the ruck and then bringing it back around that play, the ball.
Lomax takes it into the red zone for St Helens. Roby and Richardson. Here's big Alex Walmsley.
Hitting the same defenders over and over again. Big men having to do effort on effort.
Roby deciding to have a little scamper on his own, then finds Lomax. Lomax gets the pass away. It's a little bit loose. In fact, it's very loose. It isn't loose. It was knocked by a Warrington hand, and it's head and feed at the scrum to St Helens.
Well, some desperate defence, wasn't it, from Warrington? Really getting caught out, and again looking to go down the short side. And does it come off?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. It comes off Tyrone Roberts as he's going to try and effect that tackle on Johnny Lomax. The right hand just clips the ball. It goes forward. Another set of 6 here.
On the line, Kev!
Warrington looking to Tyrone Roberts to outshine Ben Barber tonight.
Out!
2 big name signings from Australia for 2018. This is Lomax, homegrown, as is Roby. Wormsley, likewise, struggling to get to his feet. Does so, Roby. Lomax, Barber was behind him. Peyru still. Then Westwood says, come here. Down he goes. So it's Roby underneath those sticks. Fires the pass then to Thompson. That's Richardson. Back on the angle run is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, and he drops his lollies.
It was Ben Westwood as well underneath, wasn't it?
Again, he's hitting hard around the ball. With a greasy surface, they're coming back against the grain, as we've talked about, but inside defenders, big men around the play the ball need to work hard. Bends his back and gets his shoulder in.
It's either Ben Westwood is all over this field, or they seem to be targeting him. There's a lot of players, the forwards from Saints, are really picking him out, whether it's a direct carry, whether it's like Barry says, the cut balls that's going back inside. And there he goes, the old fella. He deserves that rest as well, Eddie.
He does, you're right, Terry. He's been all over the place in the first 20 minutes. And, well, they'll see how they do and how they cope without him. Messy scrum.
Shove at the scrum.
Not allowed, is it, Stuart? Is that allowed?
Oh, it's allowed. It just doesn't happen very often.
I think it's an indication, that, Eddie, that you're going to put your opponents under pressure every second of the match there. If you push it in a scrum like that situation, it reminds them, listen, we're going to take you and challenge you all the way. There's no easy restarts of possession. You're going to have to do a lot and play very well if you want to compete and beat us tonight.
Kevin Brown. Ooh, he releases the pass well, does Cooper. Clark gets to it. Last tackle coming up, though. Should be a penalty. There's a man lying in the ruck. It's Mark Percival.
Isn't he just intelligent down flat? He goes on the back of this offload. He's always around the play. His speed gets him out of trouble 9 times out of 10, and he knows where the Saints player is, and he gets the penalty.
So here they come. And this is Dom Crosby. Good run from him. Zeptayer, I'm told, has passed the concussion test. He can return for Saints inside the 15 minutes that he's allowed. Solid run here from Joe Philbin. Plays the ball to Clark. Now it's Kevin Brown. Short ball to Crosby. Hook.
Great tackle. What about that for contact?
Great hit by Peyru, and he hurt him.
Hurt him as well. Peyru, again, he's been the most valuable player for St Helens in attack and defence. Look at this, bends his back, lifts him. Boom.
I think Dom Crosby was hoping that ball was going to go out the back instead of hitting the lead runner.
Well, he got up to Dom Crosby. None the worse for the experience. None the worse for last week's headbutt by Liam Watts either, if you think about it.
Well, he's another tough player, isn't he? Dom Crosby.
Not even a bruise on that forehead, is there? It's okay. Thumbs up from the physio. James Child gets back in position. Calls time back on again. Clark. Kevin Brown. Roberts. Murdoch Masilla. Another thunderous challenge, this time from Wormsley. Quick play the ball though. Clark to Philbin. St Helens defence outstanding thus far. Can it be for another one? As Roberts floats the kick out to this side. And the ball has come back, and it is a try for Toby King. Toby King gets the try for Warrington. Adam Swift had a slap at it, the ball came backwards. It might have been forwards off him or backwards off the Warrington player. It doesn't matter. And Toby King, the Irish international, had his first appearance of the year last week against Hull. He played 67 minutes for Bryson Goodwin. He's in tonight for Goodwin, and he scored a priceless try for Warrington.
Well, after some brutal exchanges in the middle, the calmness and coolness of the half-back from Warrington places that kick on the head of the St Helens player. He knows where he's going to kick it, Tyrone Roberts. The Wolves challenge, he's on the spot, catches it cleanly and gets his first try, and the Wolves' first try of this evening.
Well, you know that if Warrington keep knocking on the door, see the play the ball from Joe Philbin, a little bit of a bubble. Well, it doesn't go back to that, it's play on. The ball goes behind. He kept banging on the door. 3 repeat sets, and well, there it goes. Steve Price knows all that pressure certainly paid off.
Toby King. Well, he's had 2 injury-plagued seasons himself, has Toby King. He wants a big 2018. 67 minutes last week for Bryson Goodwin. He's in the side tonight for Goodwin, and he scored the try that gets Warrington's scoreboard keeper ticking. Now then, can Ratchford add the extras? Oh, how about this? How about that from Stephen Ratchford? 6 apiece at the Halliwell Jones.
Well, when things haven't been going your way in the season, sometimes you need an element of luck. There was a question mark over the knock-on at the play of the ball. Now, does the try-score push Tommy Makinson in the back? Again, that's not penalised. The ball bounces back to him. The referee keeps his hand in the air. And there's the first punch of the night now for Warrington. They can start to believe.
6 apiece, 25 minutes gone, back to where we started. High kick-off from St Helens, and claimed.
It's a great restart, that. A great kick from Richardson, wasn't it? They gave his team a chance to get under it.
Like a pitching wedge, wasn't it, into the Warrington half of the field. Here's Dom Crosby again. Solid, isn't he?
They've been good from the bench, Dom Crosby and Joe Philbin.
Not a good night for Widnes so far. Huddersfield 12-0 up. Here 6 apiece. 12 points equally shared. 12 points at Widnes, all for Huddersfield. Here is Brown. Drops the pass off again to Mike Cooper. Cooper gets Warrington to halfway on tackle number 5. Last one coming up. Kick then maybe from this man Roberts. Yes, up it goes. It's high, it's deep. It's got Barber all over the shop. Barber allows it to bounce. He says that'll do. And now they try and trap him in goal.
Oh, Eddie, that was a shocker as well for Ben Barber to try and get to. It was end over end, swirling everywhere, and he had no chance of getting it. He did well to get back in the field of play, really.
Adam Swift now for St Helens. Always thought that this might be a big test of St Helens' 100% start to the season. They got the first try, the Saints, but Warrington have steadied the ship. Back into it here at 6-all. This is Lomax. Richardson, right down the middle. Tom Lynham will run it back for the Warrington Wolves.
Nice first carry as well from Tom Lynham. Play on here.
On, yes, another good gun from Tommy Lynham.
Oh, he's big and aggressive every time he carries the ball, isn't he? Especially when he lines up and he's got 20 metres before the defence hits him.
It's now Toby King again, try scorer. Clark into centre field to Kevin Brown. Gets it away to Philbin. Faced St Helens in the 2016 playoff semi-final as a substitute did Philbin. Solid work again from Ryan Atkins down that right-hand side. Ratchford in there quickly. This now is Roberts. George King.
Kevin Brown pointing to the kick to the corner.
Ratchford, they go to the corner with Atkins. That's the last tackle. They took the risk. They ran it on the power play, and it's not a bad place to turn over possession. I mean, Saints have got to go 100 metres.
Well, he left the play to Tyrone Roberts. He was hoping for the kick over to Tom Lynham's corner, but it's still not a bad place. Turn the ball over in the corner. You're asking questions of him, having to get the ball back out.
Warrington offside.
It's just easy meters this now. You get them down there, you want to do all the hard stuff. You talk during the week, and the tip sheet's all about restricting meters from Saints. Don't give James Roby a platform. win the first 3 plays, take the game away from them.
It is a very fine balance as a defender when you're trying to apply pressure, to keep that discipline. Wait until the whir of the whistle in the referee's mouth before you get up and put pressure on your opponents.
So St Helens in Warrington territory again with Alex Walmsley. And get a penalty because Philbin was all over him.
And that's the second penalty that Alex Walmsley's earned. Look at him, he's 6'6", 6'7", well, 18 and a half stone.
The referee wants a word with Kevin Brown, who is now the skipper on the field with Chris Hill off.
Got to tidy up around the ruck and the markers. That's the area. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. That's the message. Rucks, markers.
So tidy things up around the ruck and at marker. Warrington Wolves.
Kicking tees on as well, Eddie.
Yeah, they're going to kick for goal here, St Helens, which is an indication it might be one of those close run things.
Maybe an indication of the pace of the game. I think we've had quite a few starts, penalties, scrums, but the action has been ferocious.
They've played in almost 6 hours of Super League action so far, the Saints, and they've been behind for just 7 minutes in those almost 6 hours. They like to keep ahead if ever they can. I think that's the reason why they've gone for these 2 points.
So here's Richardson. And he adds 2 to the Saints' score. It's Warrington 6, Saints 8. And I'm sure that that would be good for Justin Holbrook, the Saints coach. It's also good for a former St Helens back row forward, Paul Forber. He's had an operation in Liverpool's Walton Hospital today, and we send him all our very best wishes for a speedy, quick and complete recovery to Paul Forber. Remember him running round years and years ago, almost as long ago as you two were playing. You three were playing.
Played with Paul Forber at Salford.
He ran over the top of me several times, but I hope he gets better. He's able to make a full recovery.
Here to that.
A character buffer. Get well soon, pal.
And here comes Luke Douglas now for the Saints. Gets to his feet and plays it to Roby. Warrington muscling up in defence, trying to keep St Helens' pen back there if they possibly can.
Matty Lee's on. We watched him in his debut against Wakefield at the back end of last year. He was impressive then.
This is his first appearance tonight since then, so big night for Matty Lees, 20-year-old prop forward.
Well, that's how you deal with Ben Barber.
Don Crosby is no respecter of reputations, and a smile from Barber as he picks himself up. Richardson's kick is right down the middle. And, well, Mitch Brown went for it, and Stefan Ratchford took control in the end.
Well, there he goes. This is how you deal with him from dummy half. A little grin from Ben Barber thinking, yep, I've just been dusted by a prop.
Clark dummy half. Centre field is Brown. Matty Lees with the challenge. Tyrone Roberts now. Oh, the ball has come free. Play on, says the referee. Here is that young man, Lees.
We'll have a little word. I think Zeb Tayers just popped this ball out. Straight away he looked at the referee.
Good tackling there by Brown and Clark on Roby. Peyroux, the Saints. Walmsley. Another solid run from him, workmanlike, isn't he? Down the left-hand side they go to Lomax. Good defence from Warrington. Richardson. Lees again on an angle run. Goes past Philbin. He can't get away from Crosby or Darrell Clark. Roby again, and now Lomax goes wide. The crowd say it was forward. There's a knock on anyway by Percival, and Warrington have the ball back thanks to Stefan Ratchford.
Scrappy end to that set of 6 from Saints, but you can see what they're trying to do. They're taking it away from the middle, bringing it back towards those bigger players. There's the end of the set. I've no doubt the tries will come from the players on the edge, but the battle is in the middle. The battle for ascendancy is in the middle.
Stefan Ratchford gets a penalty because there were players offside, not standing square, ahead of the referee. It was a right mess then, the Saints' defensive line.
Well, again, Stefan Ratchford recognises that there's 3 players in front of him. There's a late retreater in Zeb Taylor. The markers aren't set. In the games that he's played this year, Stefan Ratchford, he averages 150 metres a game. He really does influence what's on in front of him.
So Cooper will take the battle forward again for the Warrington Wolves. Been really impressive. He was under Stephen Price at St George Illawarra in Australia a few years ago, doing his stint down there. And he's the coach. Clark again in centre field, gives it to Tyrone Roberts. He then looks for the man on the runaround, which was Kevin Brown.
It was a very late run from Kevin Brown, really speedy run from left to right, trying to create that extra man.
Murdoch-Masila for the line. Saints deal with the threat. Clark slightly loose the pass. Ratchford able to get the ball away despite the slip. Brown kicks it in, tries to kick it in behind the defence. Danny Richardson picks it up for St Helens, and then his opposite number 18 for Warrington, Toby King, picks him up.
Well, he looked up a few times, didn't he, Kevin Brown? Didn't know whether it was going to be a high kick or just dab it behind the defensive line. You can just see a little look over his shoulder, trying to get it to Toby King, but well positioned from Danny Richardson.
Frustration for the new coach.
It's not the end of the set that he wanted, was it?
Roby with one of those trademark scampers from dummy half. And brought down by Darrell Clark. Darrell Clark overlooked for the World Cup. Roby very much involved. Darrell Clark in the elite England squad that was announced on Wednesday.
Is James Roby ever an 8 or 9 out of 10? Not an 8 or 9 out of 10. So consistent.
How about that from Matty Lees? Matty Lees, second game in the Red V.
Barry mentioned him before. I've watched him as well. I've watched him through the academy. Really, really tough player.
Look at this.
I think it was just because he was solid. It was the trying to be the handoff from Stefan Ratchford that knocked himself over.
Good run there from Cooper meanwhile. Kevin Brown again into the open space down that right-hand side. This one, fine touch, good kick. Barber has to run it back. So far, it's been quiet, Ben Barber, tonight. Everyone's early season tip for the 2018 Steve Prescott Man of Steel Award at the end of the season. We'll see.
Well, in rugby, Eddie, in these conditions, well, you don't have to try and reinvent the wheel. Teams and coaches will talk about ending sets well, kicking it to the corner, chasing hard, looking to force an error, hitting under the ball.
Zeb Taylor with that run. Obviously, no effects from the bang on the head. Walmsley. Clark getting stuck in. This is Richardson. Right-footed down the middle of the field. Saw there was nobody home there, so put it in between Lynham and Ratchford. Ratchford takes control.
It's a nod to the fitness of these two teams. None of them are looking to edge the ball over the sideline. They're both trying to keep the ball in play and a fast pace and a fast tempo.
Mitch Brown for Warrington. Theo Farge is out there. Here comes Jack Hughes now. It's been unrelenting. Well, there's been a few penalties, but not too many.
It's been a nice, clean game, really, Eddie.
Well, there's been 10.
There's only been one coming together, but you're enjoying it, Eddie.
I am.
Because of the pace of the game.
I am. And it doesn't stop forever when the penalties are forthcoming. Here's Clark. Gets the ball away. That's a good ball, too, to Murdoch-Masila. Good challenge by Mark Percival. Atkins fires the pass to Roberts. It goes high off the boot of Roberts. Kevin Brown is after this. Barber is safe under it behind his own goal line. Restart on the 20. Here he comes.
Doesn't put himself under pressure, does he, Ben Barber?
So if you catch the ball in goal in that situation, you get 7 tackles, not 6. That's the difference here, and it should give St Helens a chance at the end of this set to end it with a much more of an attacking kick and a threatening one, rather than just one that gains ground and tries to get their opponents under pressure at that end. Here we see now that's the second player that's gone of those. There'll be 6 now in it, but you are given 7 chances here now to get up to the other end and inflict some pain.
Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrooke goes down, tackle number 3. Lomax. Percival cuts inside. Important that Ben Murdoch-Masila, he thought he wasn't tackled Percival, and Murdoch-Masila certainly hurt himself in the challenge.
Do you know, and if he gets up quick and plays that ball, there's 2 Warrington players left on the deck.
Darryl Clark, I think, is the player.
Oh, sorry,
left
it is.
down.
It's Darryl Clark. I beg your pardon. It is.
He ends up round the bootlaces of Percival. Does he catch one in the face? Yes.
He got one as well, did Murdoch-Masila. He wants to play on Justin Holbrook.
Don't you like that in the court?
I was just going to say,
Don't
the
you?
emotion,
Well,
the
they're both-
emotion from coaches.
They're both wearing their hearts on the sleeve tonight.
It's good to see, isn't it?
They are.
So much pressure. Everyone expects so much of these two sides. There's only 7 miles that separates the towns. Always good rivalry, always good games when you turn up, whether it's at Saints or in Warrington.
And they're 2 of the 4 Aussie coaches in Super League this year. Holbrook arriving last May, of course. Stephen Price coming during the winter. Well, we're edging towards half-time. This is the last tackle. They're right underneath the sticks. And Richardson comes back towards those sticks. Nearly went in front of and then behind Theo Farge. Dominic Peyrou. Warrington hanging back, letting them do what they want, and then allowing Ratchford to come across and cut the kick over the top off.
First time really that Saints were disorganised, weren't they? When Danny Richardson gets the ball, he didn't know what was going on. I'm not sure whether he recognised that it was the last play, Eddie.
And there was a solid line of blue defenders in front of him.
Yeah. And you know, you said before about maybe the attack has fell down, but I think when you look at Warrington, they've always been known as an attacking side, but defensively sometimes they need to step up, and they've certainly seemed to be doing that. So whether there's a focus on the defence more than the attack, well, we'll wait and see at the end of the year.
Look at this run from Clark. He lost the ball forward, though. He did his best to try and get it back and slip the ball back, but it must have hit the ground first.
A greasy ball, poor grip on the ball from Darryl Clark. Arms in, he can't control it. It was a nice offload from Warrington. Young Matty Lees was involved in the tackle where the offload came. He dropped off, a little bit of maybe not being used to the strength and the intelligence of players. The young Rochdale Mayfield Jr. having a whale of a time.
Huddersfield are having a whale of a time not far from here in Widnes, just over the bridge. 14-0 they lead. Richardson will feed the scrum. A push at the scrum there from Warrington as well. Roby has picked it up though from the base of it. Theo Farge, the French international. Johnny Lomax, Dominic Peyrou. League of Nations here tonight. Dominic Peyrou, Samoan and Cook Island international. James Roby, of course, England, Great Britain. Theo Farge, the Frenchman. Louis McCarthy-Scarisbrooke, as English as they come. This is Lomax. Lomax still. And still. And then wide to Zedtea. Here is Mark Percival. And Murdoch-Masila went from and missed him. Percival. Stopped. It bounced off the feet of Cooper. That kicked through. And Cooper drops on it gratefully. There is the half-time whistle from referee James Child. Also, Saints are just 2 points to the good, courtesy of Richardson's penalty goal on half an hour. Percival's try after 7 minutes. Richardson added the extras. Toby King then for Warrington, and the Ratchford goal. It was 6-all after 23. Nothing to choose between these two sides at all. Good contest in the Betfred Super League. We'll have the half-time report from Brian and John after this. Brown misses it. Gelling over the top.
giffgaff are a Which recommended mobile network provider 5 years in a row. Because with no contract, you're free to go, free to stay. giffgaff, the mobile network run by you.
Howdy! You want some help?
Are you sure that's the right amount? Fine,
Thank you so much.
Oh, looks good. Still got some money left.
Whoa! Ooh-wee. All of it?
All of it.
Most of it.
Give it most of it. Try and keep something to the Angus, baby.
That's a drive-out win. Like saving carloads of cash at Confused.com.
Allow me to tell you about the Astra, madam. It has all the latest
connectivity to mobile devices and heated seats in the back. Handy.
and the advanced European engineering
Means it's safe and fun to drive, I should imagine.
So you know with our Vauxhall Help to Buy scheme, there's up to 5 years 0% APR.
Really?
It's simple. You pay back the price of the car and nothing more.
Well, shall we take it for a
test drive?
Get up to 50% off in the DFS price snap. The Virgo sofa is now just £799. But not for long. DFS.
Mayday. Mayday. This is Eagle One. We have a problem.
Don't panic. I'll see what the internet says. Money back as a free bet if your horse loses. Available on the first and last race every day during the Cheltenham Festival. Yes, let's have a piece of the action.
We're breaking up!
I tell you what, I rate our chances.
Oh,
For the love of the game. Betway.
This weekend, there's £500 free fuel at our Vauxhall Help to Buy event.
Really?
Yes. It's the perfect time to buy.
If it looks like this one, sounds like this one,
let's go.
and makes you feel like this one,
People work 9 to 5 here, and that's a very long time.
then it's gotta be this one. It's amazing. All the good stuff on Sky One.
It's a crusty other guy business. It's like Highlander. There can be only one.
Watch every episode of Billions before season 3 begins. Available now on Sky Box Sets.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
We've got rivalry weekend coming up for you on Sky Sports. Tomorrow, Man United Liverpool, 11:30 a.m. on Sky Sports Premier League. And then at 5:15 on Sky Sports Football, Villa entertain Wolves. Sunday doubleheader. First of all, we're up north of the border. Rangers Celtic, 11:30 a.m. Sky Sports Football, same channel, 2:15. We come back down south, Forest Derby. 4 really entertaining games in prospect. Okay, hope you can join us tomorrow, 4:55 p.m. Sky Sports Arena. We will see if the Catalan Dragons can register their first win of season 2018. Hull Kingston Rovers come to town with Danny Maguire. He has been included in their 19-man squad. Right, here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium in difficult conditions, more on that later. St Helens unbeaten so far this season and sitting at the top of the Betfred Super League table, lead the Warrington Wolves 8 points to 6. Wolves looking for their 3rd victory of the season and are just 2 points behind at the 40-minute mark. You would think going into this match they would have taken that. All right, just a short distance away over at Widnes, the Vikings are having it all to do to deal with Danny Brough. His long and short kicking game set up the first couple of tries for Ryan Hinchcliffe and Jake Mawo, and he's tagged on a penalty, converted those 2 tries. So 3 successful kicks from Brough. They lead 14-0, the Giants, over at Widnes. And you would imagine over at Widnes it is similar conditions to those that we have here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, and they're difficult conditions. And it's worth mentioning, John Wells, as we look at the first couple of tries in a low-scoring half, that the conditions will play a part. The rain is teeming down here, making ball handling difficult. And couple that with 2 very strong defensive sides, we weren't expecting a feast of tries.
Yeah, you've actually got 2 reasonably skillful scores in spite of the conditions, and we were saying before we came out of the break that if there was an evening where those conditions could be underestimated by sitting in a commentary booth or in the back of a truck or in the comfort of your own home, tonight is it. It's not just the wind, which is coming down, it's cold, and it's the swirling wind as well. Really, really disruptive. Not something you can legislate for, something you have to do your best to adapt to on the run.
You generally have to win a grand final in similar conditions as well. It's just something we always say. That Toby King try that we saw there leveled the game up at 6 points apiece. St Helens lead though 8-6 as Warrington conceded a 6th penalty, and it was converted by Danny Richardson. Just before we go into your analysis, a quick word on Warrington's discipline. Steve Price said in the build-up to this game, it's something they needed to fix. They haven't yet fixed it.
No, it's a work in progress. I think across the board you can start to see, I think the defensive resilience has been good for them in general terms so far this season. One of those final ticks in the box in terms of defensive resilience is their discipline. That's the one outstanding tick in the box they need to put. Although I echo your sentiments, they'd be happy with that half-time score.
OK, let's look at what you feel is working for them and isn't working for them in their efforts to pierce this St Helens defence. So
you've seen them several times this first half go to the edges. It looks pretty. Combinations between Tyrone Roberts, Kevin Brown, they're hitting Murdoch Masilla. It's not really doing an awful lot to this really well-organised Saints defence. What is working is when guys like Mike Cooper roll the sleeves up and go, and they're hitting close to the ruck, they challenge the opposition, and they throw offloads like that. I'm gonna start this clip again because that offload looks untidy. Take a closer look. This is a well-timed, well-executed offload. Gets his arm free. Yes, it goes to floor.
But it's a higher percentage play than it looks.
And when you've got a man like that behind, as he knows he has, then yeah, it's a high percentage play. That's not a shot to nothing. It earns them the penalty. It puts them in the right area of the field to challenge them. Again, have a look at this. Going out wide. This is my example I would choose and show to you of just how organised this Saints defence is. This is Luke Thompson. First adjustment is on the point where I froze, and is keep your eye on this man alone, on what he's doing with his feet and his shoulders and the torque from the inside and out. That's one adjustment. Another adjustment there, slipped on from Kevin Brown. Now look at him straightening his hips again, and he's ready to meet Ben Murdoch Masilla on the way back. Very organised, very disciplined, and a good shot against one of the biggest men in Super League off the back of it. So what's it going to take to break them? It's this stuff. It's direct, it's round the ruck, it's sniping. This is going to be more effective for the Warrington Wolves going forward. The Saints defence is as good as I've seen it in many a year. The try, well, it's made there. It's the deep pass, no pressure being able to put on Tyrone Roberts, quick execution, and then we covered this bit last week, Brian. Tom Lynham has an advantage over Adam Swift here, not just because he has the leap. He doesn't need to catch that ball. He just needs to keep it in play. And the ball falls kindly to Toby King, who crosses for the score. They're behind on the scoreboard, but they'll be happy with that.
We made much in the build-up to this game about Ben Barber, and I questioned Barry, how would Warrington neutralise, if they could, Ben Barber's influence? They haven't, well, we haven't seen a huge amount from Ben Barber. Is that because of the conditions? Is that because of something St Helens are doing, or because of Warrington's great defence?
I think if you didn't take a look at all the score lines and the score sheets and the man who'd scored the tries for St Helens over the last month, I would have said, wait till the summer months come and the pitches dry out, and you'll see the very best of Ben Barber. So he's made a liar of me already. I think the conditions obviously something to do with it. He's not the best under the high ball, and when there's pressure on him, there's mistakes, and even the very, very best players, I think they've done a reasonable job on him. Let's wait and see till the end of May before we judge Ben Barber on this season.
Just 2 points in this game. How do you see the second half unfolding? Quick answer.
More of the same, and it'll be very, very tight. Could come down to one play, one good line, one missed tackle.
There is only 2 points in it. Remember, St Helens unbeaten. The Warrington Wolves at home here will be looking for their 3rd win of the season. Stephen Price, in his maiden season in charge of the Wolves, he knows that this would be a scalp that would lift confidence throughout his side and throughout all the spectators, perhaps signalling to his men there that he wants them more direct right through the middle, something John has just touched on. Justin Holbrook's side, they scored first in the game for the 5th time this year, and just 2 points in front though at half-time. They will be confident of closing this match out. Remember last week against Salford, all the good stuff from St Helens came late. We've got the second half in the company of Eddie and the boys coming up after this break.
Big chase on him, Luke Gay with a drop goal! That's it! He has kicked it!
know what it's like. The latest movie's out and you desperately want to catch it at the cinema, but something comes up, like work. I'm not bothered. It's on Sky Store straight from the cinema, so I get to watch it while it's still fresh, just on my TV. Easy. Sky Store, the latest movie straight from the cinema.
giffgaff are a Which recommended mobile network provider 5 years in a row. Because with no contract, you're free to go, free to stay. giffgaff, the mobile network run by you.
His heart is pounding. His body is still. He shuffles his chips as he thinks. Heart versus head. Emotion versus reason. He makes his move. Ready to play? Join 21.co.uk tonight and get £10 free.
Cannot trust no one.
Murder on the Orient Express, out now.
Get up to 50% off in the DFS price snap. The Lilani Lounger sofa is now just £599, but not for long. DFS.
For those that relish competition, bet £10 and we'll give you £30 in free bets. Don't celebrate sports stars. Beat them. Bet £10 and we'll give you £30 in free bets. 888 Sport, take them on. Available now from App Store and Google.
I should have known something like this was coming.
Sit down, buckle up, and don't make me kick your ass.
What has the stronger pull? Fear or money?
How would you feel if your wife slept with a Batman? She does. Every night. Sometimes twice.
Come on in! Join the revolution!
Bitter rivals Man United and Liverpool kick off the first of 4 Premier League matches this weekend, live only on Sky Sports Premier League.
Them perhaps weave a little bit of magic.
Griffin back to the halfback. Mitchell Pearce this time, you betcha. The dream debut for Mitchell Pearce. The long-time Rooster is a hero for the Knights.
Yes, the NRL is back. We've had 3 fantastic games in round 1 over the past 24 hours, and next weekend this is what we have. Thursday, Cronulla St George, 8 o'clock in the morning, Sky Sports Arena. The Roosters and Canterbury next Friday at 6:30, Arena and main event. Same channels, 8:45 for the big Queensland derby, Brisbane North Queensland, 8:45 on Sky Sports Arena and main event next Friday. Here at Warrington, we have a local derby too. It's Warrington 6, St Helens 8, and we're about to get the second half underway. The unbeaten league leaders, St Helens, 100% so far. Will they hang on to it at the end of the next 40 minutes? We shall see. Richardson's kick-off is perfect. Bounces off. Tyrone Roberts is dropped on by Mark Percival. And Saints, well, they caught Warrington on the back foot from the very first kick-off of this second half. And here's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. That's Roby. Here is Richardson. Now Lomax goes inside a couple. Lomax is so close. Important tackle coming in then from George King. Roby again fires the pass to Richardson. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook takes it up. Straight towards the post again. That's 3 tackles gone. Big test of the Warrington defence early here. Roby! And James Roby does what he has done, it seems, for years and years. He's pinched one from dummy half. And after just 52 seconds of the second half, St Helens stretch the lead. He needs 2 tries for 100 for St Helens as he came in to the Halliwell Jones Stadium tonight. He's in the nervous 90s. He's on 99 now for Saints. It's James Roby.
Some people think I'm obsessed with contested restarts, but I think that not only do they provide excitement for the fans, but they provide a great opportunity for a team to get the ball back in an attacking position, which is what St Helens did here. I'm surprised more teams don't do it. I think it will come into play more. Saints have shown on a couple of occasions they put kicks into challenging areas, and then they've converted the first one there of the second half to the delight of the coach and every fan who's travelled here tonight.
Well, the coaches are happy, and the team must be happy because they're 12-6 up, and Richardson is just to the right of the posts, and he adds the extras. Dream start to the second half for St Helens, not so for Warrington. Half-time news, Angela Powers.
That's exactly what Justin Holbrook, the St Helens coach, would have wanted the start to be. He did the first half to be how it turned out, to be honest. He said it was going to be tough. Warrington were going to come out and throw everything at them, and they did. This time, though, he wants to make sure that his team match them in the kicking game. That's where he feels his St Helens side really need to step up this second half. Justin Holbrook, that was his point of view, but for Steve Price, from a Warrington point of view, they've got to really be squeaky clean this half, giving away too many penalties, and they've been working on that all week. Their completion and their error count as well need to tighten up there, but otherwise quite happy with the way they competed in the first half. Back to you, Eddie.
Yes, they competed in the first half, but they have conceded at the start of the second 40 minutes. And that certainly won't help a young 19-year-old Kieran McLean, who's a big Warrington Wolves fan. He's not very well, I'm afraid, at the moment. Too sick to attend tonight, so he's watching at his home in Stoke-on-Trent. Hello, Kieran. He is a big Warrington fan, as I say. His stepdad, Barry, and brother Connor are here in the North Stand. Just a get well message from us all, Kieran. He's hoping that you'll be feeling a lot better soon, and that won't help your recovery either, I'm afraid, young man.
And he was straight from the kick-off. They looked like they're in the changing rooms. They finished the game strongly in the first half. There was the mistake from Tyrone Roberts from the kick-off. Now the mistake here. And Saints just really trying to up the pace of the game, and in that build-up to the try, you had Johnny Lomax, the show-and-go, taking the defensive line on. You had James Roby, who took the defensive line on, dove home from dummy half, and all of a sudden, it seems to be opening up all the things they were working on in the first half, targeting those big forwards. Well, they couldn't come up with those repeat efforts.
Well, half-time at Widnes, Barry. Sorry, I'll be to you in a minute. Just have a look. 14-0 Huddersfield up at Widnes.
Elsie talked about the kicking game and putting it high, making it difficult for Saints to handle. Well, Saints started this game, they put this ball up high and down on the floor, and it looks too slippery to get hold of.
Well, Saints are hanging on to it here with Percival, and Warrington need to hang on to St Helens, otherwise this game could slip away from them. Having to defend their line again are the Warrington Wolves. And Richardson, well, it was a knock-on, it went forward, even though Theo Farge got to it first, the ball went forward. Well, neither side really, apart from the try, neither side hanging on to the football.
A lot of things you had to contend with, not only the weather, but the defensive line, who were getting up quick, knowing that there was some key individuals in the likes of Theo Farge around that man, Danny Richardson.
Saints have won 24 of 30 visits to Warrington since 1996, just 2 draws and only 4 defeats in the town in Super League. The Saints. Line is cut down by a ferocious challenge from Makinson. Oh, even Darrell Clark's at it now.
Well, that's 3 errors, isn't it, now, in the opening 5 minutes in the second half. And the discipline that I'm sure that Steve Price would have been talking about at half-time, not only when they're defending, but when they have the ball. And Darrell Clark, well, he's a player that absolutely thrives on pressure. And simple mistake, you can see the shake of the head. He knows that it's one that's got away that, and he puts his side under pressure just 20 metres from the line.
Darrell Clark, if Warrington win, will be with John Wells at the touchscreen tonight at the end of the game. If Saints win, it'll be Ben Barber who will be swapping views with John Wells. At the moment, Ben Barber will have to delay his shower a little bit, but we'll see. Big chance for Saints again after that mistake. Peru. And Roby is in customary role at dummy half, and Lees will take it forward now. Matty Lees halted 10 metres away. Roby opts for Richardson, who gives it to Lomax, who gives it to Barber. Surrounded by Roberts and Murdoch-Masila.
It's good defence that from Warrington, isn't it? Not losing the target, which was Ben Barber.
Richardson. Roby somehow held on to that brilliantly. Lomax again. Solid wall of defenders again ahead of him. He's running laterally. Roberts gets to him. Weren't many options open then for Lomax. Last tackle for St Helens here. Theophage stabs the kick in. And Ratchford just palms the ball dead. There were 4 or 5 white jerseys hounding this ball down.
Ratchford and Ben Barber, he knows where that ball is going to end up. It's almost into the pathway of the fullback, but his opposite number just relieves the pressure for the Wolves.
There's Stefan Ratchford, and there's Theophage. He's having to be content with a substitute's role so far this season. Captain of his country in the World Cup. Goal line dropout then. The referee's not happy. I think it's because... Look,
communication problem he's having at the moment with his touch judges. He's trying to sort it out.
Well, Steve Price with a lot to think about during this break.
A little break in play here for the Warrington players, just to get the thoughts together. It's not been the start that they wanted in this second half. James Roby, the man who's causing an awful lot of problems, scored the try in the second half. Look at this. He's made a big name for himself from the speed that he's got from dummy half. And the defenders make the decision for him. As soon as Stefan Ratchford opens up and just plants his feet, looking outside him, the gap's there for that man.
It's a great spot as well. Whenever a 9 gets at dummy half, fullback is a defender or a roundabout marker. Fullback will be thinking about the shift, possibly the kick. He just shows enough of the ball, James Roby, to interest the shift. And Stefan Ratchford, he buys the dummy. I know you said everybody thinks Ben Barber, but from day dot, I said James Roby will be in with a shout for Man of Steel.
There's one voice in the wilderness then?
Normally. I'm normally on my own.
This is a big moment here for Warrington. We know it's going to be hard to score 9 points here now in the remaining time in this game for them. If they had to go more than 9, I think that the chances of victory diminish rapidly. They have to hold out here. They cannot allow any more points for the Saints side to stand a chance. Now, I always think that they look a stronger side when Chris Hill's on the field. At some point, he'll be out there in the second half. They will have their turn of attacking. Referees now back up into action. But they simply have to hold out this set of 6.
Yeah, the communication problem between the referee and his touch judge on the far side, Jack Smith. And we're trying to sort that out for him. A little bit of frustration amongst the crowd and probably amongst the players as well. But it allowed Warrington maybe to have a think and get themselves sorted out, and Saints to decide what they're going to do in this next set. And here they go with Alex Walmsley. Roby to Theophage. Up the middle he goes. But Cooper was there with Murdoch-Masila. Louis McCarthy's guards book now. Spins and gives the ball to Theophage. He's hounded down by Ratchford. Finished off on the ground by King. Roby again, 10 metres away, Saints. There's the pass to Danny Richardson. It's a straight line of Warrington defenders, and there's not much movement from St Helens. As he said, Taya, they just wait, Warrington, don't they? They wait while Saints commit themselves and then come in for the kill. Now then, can they hang on here? That's Richardson again. Well, Roberts got to that little ding through on the last tackle.
You're right, Eddie. There's a number of times in this game, even going back to the start of it, and like Tommy Makinson is skirting across that defensive line, trying to drag a defender out of the line, trying to create a gap on the inside, but no Warrington players jumping the line and looking to nail them.
Percival working hard at marker. The crowd thinking he was not standing square and was in an offside position. It's a good defensive set this for St Helens. They're just out of the 20-metre zone, Warrington, and they've reached tackle number 5. So the kick here will have to be perfect from Roberts. He tries to get them out of jail. That's not bad at all, actually. Into the arms on the bounce of Barber. Good chase.
Good chase, because they didn't make many metres then carrying the ball, did they? So it needed to be a good kick and a long kick as well. And they'll be hoping for a mistake here, Warrington. They need to buy some field position. Saw them in the first half, Eddie. They forced 3 repeat sets of 6. When they're close to the line, they can cause you some problems.
Am I wrong? Is that the first time in the second half Warrington have got the kick? I'm pretty sure it is. They need to build on that. A good defensive set. The next time they get the ball, coaches and players often work in what they call cycles, a set of 4 sets of 6.
Roby, from 40 metres out, gets another good run in. Good job that Hill was there, because he was about to get back to his feet and charge at that line again. Here's Richardson, floats the kick out to the right-hand side. Chases on here, Makinson. Oh, that's well played. It's well played by Lynham.
Well, he'll be looking for some help from his teammates, Tom Lynham. When that kick goes up, Danny Richardson was put under no pressure whatsoever. And speaking of pressure, Saints really trying to slow the Rooks down, get off the line. And they're giving penalty away here for being offside.
First penalty of the second half. 6-4, the penalty count in St Helens' favour in the first 40 minutes. That one, though, to Warrington, of course. And here they go. Good to see Harvey Levette back in the Warrington side, his first start of the year. He played in all 3 of Rochdale games on loan in the Championship, and the goal in the win against Toulouse last weekend. Steve Price said before the season got going he'd be quite happy to give some of the young players a run this year. That's a great ball from Ratchford to Lynham. Lynham has to cut inside. There was sheer weight of numbers to beat him then, because he was on his way over the whitewash, and he continued on. Roberts with a nice kick, bouncing everywhere. Well, Lomax was bundled off the ball as he tried to get it by Kevin Brown. Maybe a suggestion he was taken out with the ball in the air, not tackled.
Well, normally the man that steers him around, Kevin Brown, he looked up at his half-back partner. He asked for the kick to the sticks, and that's good pressure from them. And they said in the first half they had 3 drop-on sets. Says this is the 4th now. And this is where they need to be.
If you got points for, or a point for forcing goal line dropouts, the Wolves would be closer. But that's not what this game's about, is it? You have to, when you get that repeated set, the theory is in rugby league then that you get a chance, that you are more likely to score a try. But Warrington haven't been capable of that in the opening 5 rounds this season. They've had lots of goal line dropouts. They're not converting them into tries.
Can they do that here on their 4th goal line dropout they've forced so far tonight? Crosby, sought out by Alex Walmsley. Clark, Brown, I think goes to Roberts. Good pick-up from Tyrone Roberts. He goes down 20 metres away. 3 tackles gone. Jack Hughes, back he comes to Ratchford. Grace was first to him, held on to his shirt tail. Warrington 10, 12 metres away. Roberts again. Here's Chris Hill through 1. Saints clamp the ball to him so as he can't get the offload away. Clark again, last tackle here. Roberts kicking high to the left-hand side, looking for the big men, finding one of them. Try coming for Harvey Levette on his return to Super League action. And Saints have surrounded the referee and wanting to check on something. So that's what he's going to do. Has Harvey Levette scored on his first Super League appearance of the year? They have a try on the field. And exactly what are they looking for, Stuart?
He only wants to check the touch and grounding, but I think all the Saints players were certainly complaining about the challenge in the air. Comes from the kick, so they're all on side. All the chasers on the left are in play. So we'll go through to the contest and see what happens there. This is certainly where the Saints players came to the referee about it. But you can't see anything in there that would cause them a problem. caught cleanly, and they're in possession, and the pass is given out. There's nowhere near touch, is he? So that ball's grounded, the try will be fine.
Can't see what St Helens were complaining about. Here comes the decision from video referee Robert Hicks. And a try it is. Warrington back in it, 10-4 team. Harvey Levett. Well, he was playing for Rochdale last weekend. Here he is in the white-hot atmosphere of the Saints game for Warrington, and he's come on the field and he's got the try.
Well, it's all about him building pressure. 4 goal line dropouts. They score on the 4th one, making Saints defend extra sets. And that's not a bad finish. And what about the pass from Toby King? When he goes up, he gets this ball. He knows that Harvey Levett is in the vicinity. He puts himself into some space and knows that he's got to get outside of Ben Barber.
And if you read into what Steve Price wants from his team, he wants passages of play like that, building pressure and just squeezing the life out of their opponents.
Congrats for that, the extras. Oh, you bet he can. Warrington are back within 2 points. Warrington 12, St Helens 14.
Well, there wasn't a problem last year with goal kickers. It's not been a problem tonight. Both of the tries have been scored far out, just inside the touchline, and it's brilliant play by the centre Toby King to catch the ball, to keep it alive, and to feed Harvey Levett. Then that's really complemented this and given us a brilliant last 25 minutes or so. And the sideline conversions from Stefan Ratchford.
Yes, great stuff from him. Another kick-off that bounces. It bounces for St Helens, and Warrington get to it this time. Stuart, just let's go back to that try. Was St Helens complaining that Lynham was obstructing Adam Swift rather in trying to make a tackle?
Well, that must have been the only thing they were looking at. I think Lynham was putting himself in a position to contest the catch and just remained in that position afterwards. I think the ball went well away to the wing and it didn't prevent anybody getting out there, so I think they're okay with it.
Meanwhile, here there's a problem for Alex Walmsley.
Well, he goes in and tries to clean out Mitch Brown, the right winger for Warrington. He comes off second best. It's not many times you see them. Alex Walmsley.
Lynham there is between Adam Swift and the ball and stands there. And that's what I think they're complaining about, Stu, but you see nothing wrong with it.
He's entitled to be there because he gets himself in a position to contest the ball. And who's obstructing who here? Is Adam Swift trying to push him out the way? You know, and the ball's well clear of there. I don't think there's any obstruction or anything that prevents the try being scored there.
You have seen them disallowed though, because his arm's out and because he is pulling back Adam Swift, who's trying to get round the back.
And this is more of a worry. Big Alex Walmsley, who goes in, gets his shoulder into Mitch Brown. He's not moved. You saw as soon as the tackle was made, he grabbed his left hand. Wasn't certain what had gone on. There's the contact. His head's in the wrong place.
Yeah, he got that wrong, didn't he, Walmsley?
Yeah. His first contact is actually with his head, not his shoulder.
The fact that he grabs his left hand, maybe a stinger, maybe one of those, you get your head in the wrong way and the back of your arm, the back of your tricep goes a little bit numb. It's a bit worrying.
Anxious look by Justin Holbrook, and there's obviously a problem with the left shoulder.
He doesn't look good, does he? The big man.
But he doesn't go off easily, does he?
No, I think he's been one of Saints' best over recent years. And look, when he goes in here, see, he doesn't let his. Is he holding his left arm? He's not even. He didn't even make contact with his left arm.
Mitch Brown deserves a bravery medal, doesn't he? With that sight of it, Walmsley coming at him there.
I mean, that's one of those injuries that's nothing to do with the shoulder injury. It's all to do with the nerves. That
it's a nasty and Sebastian. They hurt them.
You know, don't you?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay, tackle 2, yeah.
They're hurt.
Walmsley leaves the field then. Huddersfield are going well at Widnes, 20 points to 0 across the bridge from Warrington.
Across the bridge from Warrington, Eddie, there's no bridge separating Widnes and Warrington.
There is the route that I take.
Well, that's through Runcorn. It's Widnes and the Runcorn Bridge, then to Warrington.
I used to use the bridge, Terry, let me be honest with you, when it was free. Now there's a toll, I won't bother. Here's Adam Swift.
Tight ankle.
Ben Barber. Makinson for Saints. Barber again. Only 2 points, the gap. 25 minutes remaining. Had a feeling all week this might be one of our better games this year. And so far they've not let us down. It wasn't a bad game either last night, was it, at Headingley, Leeds and Hull. The players now, round 5, will start to get to the pace of the competition,
All
won't they?
those good fixtures, Eddie. Players know what's at stake, though, only when you play against the teams who are supposed to be up there at the top challenging you.
Barber with a nice dab to the in-goal area. Ratchet grounds the ball in goal. Goal line dropout coming up.
What an intelligent kick. Everybody expecting Ben Barber to run. It's a shift play. You see Barber just loitering at the back. That's a beautiful kick. Stefan Ratchford has no option.
And a 7-tackle set coming up because Ratchford has grounded that ball in goal. Well, he's been relatively quiet, Ben Barber, hasn't he? But he's always a threat. Another scruffy goal line dropout. Here's Adam Swift.
They're not making them pickups easy, are they? Neither team.
This is Luke Thompson. It's a 6-tackle set, by the way. I did check with the official we have with us. Sorry to Dobby and Stu, but there you go. This is Amor. Now it's Roby. Goes back the other way. Roby. And penalty, not standing square. The Warrington Wolves. Don Crosby being talked to by James Child.
To keep the pressure on, to go for 2 points.
Would you?
No, I'm saying, do you keep the pressure to go for 2 points? James Roby, well, he wants to run the ball.
I thought he said to keep the pressure on, I'd go for 2 points. Roby again, the bang underneath the sticks, as you can see. Richardson, Isaac wide to Lomax. There's Barber, short ball from him. Makinson has to go to ground quickly. They were trying to push him over that sideline. Swift then to Richardson. Here is Theo Farge. Quick hands. Ooh, was clattered after the ball went. Thompson. Thompson still with 3 all over him. Back they are underneath the sticks. Roby. Barber. Short ball. Percival. Mark Percival gets his 2nd try of the night. They're about to re-establish an 8-point advantage. Barber, a lovely little short pass. Said he's been quiet, but that was a telling contribution. And Stephen Price would be disappointed, having got back to within 2 just a few minutes ago. They have conceded another to Mark Percival. 6 tries for the season now for him.
Came off the back of the penalty. Warrington not square up marker. A lovely kick from Ben Barber. Gives his side some field position. And look at the delay. The dummy, he just draws in the Wolves defenders. He's loitering at the back. Ryan Atkins can't resist, bites in, and the space and gap is opened.
That's it, that's the spot, the loitering. He's not doing anything at the back, Ben Barber. All of a sudden, he double pumps the ball. It's a nice timed pass. It's a weighted pass to that man, Mark Percival. Just on the man who set it up. Ben Barber has all the skills, and when you're defending against him close to the line, you've only got eyes for him, not what's outside. And the man that was outside was the try scorer, Mark Percival.
So Richardson, can he do what Stefan Ratchford do with even more a degree of difficulty just a few minutes ago and kick this one from 5 metres in from the touchline? And the answer is no, he can't. It's 18-12 though to the Saints. as we approach the final quarter of the match. Let's get news of the condition of Alex Walmsley. Angela.
Well, it's double trouble really for Alex Walmsley. We saw as he went into the tackle, he went in awkwardly with his head, banged the shoulder of the attacker and hit the ground after he was stunned. So as he was falling to the ground, it looked like he wasn't able to gird himself, so he fell on that right shoulder. So momentarily knocked out, which means a concussion test for him. 15 minutes, there's no way he's coming back on, even if he is fit to return.
So that's bad news for St Helens, but the good news is they're now 6 points to the good. And here's Luke Thompson. Hold. You know, I mentioned earlier they made no major close season signings in St Helens, but that 40-point win against Castleford in round one sent out a message for 2018 loud and clear, and the way that they have maintained their 100% start to the season has been impressive. Here is Luke Thompson again. Roby, Saints rolling forward. This is Lomax. Philbin gets to him with help from Cooper. Hold! Go. Roby once more. Richardson. High and to the right-hand side. Lynham's underneath it, and then he's underneath Swift.
Well, it's all on now for Warrington. Saints really do look like they've got the bit between the teeth. Good take here from Lynham. And Warrington this year have not conceded more than 3 tries in a game. They've conceded 3 tonight. Need to make sure that they're defensively sound right across the board. I'll tell you a man who I've been really impressed with as well, along with Mark Percival, but Luke Thompson, hasn't he took the battle to Chris Hill?
There he is again, involved in that tackle. Roberts. Oh, that's a nice chip. Ratchford's after it. Just overran it slightly. Lomax picks it up. That's a touch unlucky for Roberts and Stefan Ratchford there.
Well, they've got to look for them sorts of players.
Well, they've got to throw caution to the wind to a degree, haven't they?
I don't know whether it's a little bit desperate with 20 minutes left on the clock. If it comes off, it looks brilliant. Still only a try.
Hold, got 3.
And there's 6 points between the sides.
Here's Percival on a hat-trick now, of course. Roby down the short side with Lomax. Good hit by Roberts, that.
Solid contact, wasn't it? Tyrone Roberts.
Richardson. High and again to that right-hand side. Ball is palmed back. That forward by Peru. The ball finds its way out of play over on the far side. Peru looking at the referee thinking maybe there should have been a penalty forthcoming, and the referee agrees. There was a man taken out without the ball, and it might have been Peru.
There was a call from the toucher. He came on and said to James Child that he was taken out by Lynham.
Well, there
stepped
it is.
into him.
Spot on. Yeah, very clear. Just moved right across in front of him.
Glad they're looking at that, Stuart. Does that mean that, you know, when players go down looking for a long and a high kick, that anyone who shepherds them now is taking a big risk?
Well, they are. They always have been, but they seem to be quite sharp on it this year.
They seem to be dropping on it, don't they, in 2018? They do. Anyway, St Helens are coming forward again on the end of that penalty. And it's that man, Luke Thompson, tackled by Chris Hill. Here is Roby. Richardson, back it comes to Lomax. Lomax then got the pass away to Zeptea. Warrington having to be big in defence. Amor gets the ball away to Richardson. Richardson asking for someone to come back on the inside and loses the ball. It's snapped up by Ratchford.
Skill, he scoops it up with his foot, Stefan Ratchford. A long way to go.
Good defensive play from Kevin Brown, wasn't it, though, on the youngster, Danny Richardson?
Feels like the Super League's really come alive this weekend, doesn't it? A brilliant game last night. We're now in the final quarter of this game with just a 6-point gap between the Wolves and the Saints. And the home crowd are trying everything they can here. They know this is the potential tipping point in the season for the Wolves if they're able to get level or even get ahead in this match.
Crucial tackle then by Lomax on Roberts. Here's Chris Hill. Another good run from the skipper. Darrell Clark finds Kevin Brown. He gets it to Harvey Levette. Last tackle here for Warrington. What do they have? They have a high kick from Brown. And that ball has come free, and Clark is after it. Barber gets to him. And I think someone has said something out of turn to James Child, had been marked 10 metres further back up the other way.
Well, the Saints player was taken out in the air and then marched 10 metres, as you said. It was Tom Lynham who just had a little tug at Adam Swift, and he goes up for it, yeah. Sorry, it's Toby King. You can't really complain about that, can they? And the Warrington players feel a bit frustrated. And a further 10 metres doesn't help the cause.
It was contact in the air, Stuart, wasn't it?
Well, he nudged him before he had a chance to catch the ball, and that's the reason for the penalty.
And I won't ask you the reason why he was marched 10 metres further back.
Somebody disagreed with
I think we know. Luke Douglas now for the Saints. Here's Roby. Good run again from Roby.
Getting out from dummy half, looking to bring his players onto the ball.
Lomax now. Richardson. Thompson. 9 metres away from the line. Last tackle. Lomax gets it away to Zebtea. Important challenge by Roberts. That's the turnover.
He missed it, didn't he? There was a ball out the back. I think it was Ben Barber who was the late player coming around, and then they would have had Regan Grace and Mark Percival.
You're right, he was ghosting around. He's done that to great effect this evening. Just creating that extra man.
Warrington must be feeling like King Canute, because they're trying to repel the waves and waves of St Helens attacks that succeeding so far to a degree, but boy, it's taking a lot of juice out of them. Catalan Dragons against Hull Kingston Rovers. Tomorrow our third live match from the Super League, plus 3 from the NRL that you've had over the past 2 days. That's 6 this weekend. Join us for that tea time tomorrow, Sky Sports Arena. Meanwhile, Warrington have not given this game away yet. Here is Stephen Ratchford. Right on halfway, he goes down.
It looks like the game's opening up. Warrington, certainly with that passage of play, putting the ball through some hands. A nice kick from Kevin Brown.
It is a nice kick. It is a nice kick. Will it run dead? No, it won't. So Regan Grace has to run it back, and does so. Mitch Brown and Murdoch Masilla. By the way, I'm just going to give you a note that the voting will soon be open for the man of the match. The Betfred man of the match announced at the end of every game. And the Rugby League legend who's out there tonight watching this game with you is going to come up with 4 candidates who's caught his eye. Then over to you, the fans. You can vote using the Rugby Football League's Our League app. And voting will be live in around about 5 minutes' time. So get ready. Kyle Amor. We have legends galore on Sky Sports. Who's caught your eye, fellas? Oh, hang on, here's Richardson. Here is Richardson. He's got a host of support. Kicking it wide, looking for Percival for the hat-trick. Hat-trick time for Mark Percival. What a brilliant kick at speed from young Danny Richardson, by the way. But Mark Percival, wreathed in smiles, he claims the hat-trick. And he might well have claimed the points for the Saints. He got his career first ever hat-trick in round 1 against Castleford. Here's his career second hat-trick here against Warrington. Mark Percival, should he have been in the World Cup for England? A lot of people say yes.
Yeah, and I'm one of them people as well, Eddie. The Holton Farmer Hornets combination here. Danny Richardson through the middle. All of a sudden he spots some space out wide. And Mark Percival, one of those players that just oozes class. And there's a confident youngster, isn't it? Just pulls in the defenders, creates that space on the outside. And what about the kick?
The patience from Percival to keep his line. When he steps back inside, he's down the middle channel. Percival doesn't rush towards the ball. He stays in his channel. He's got enough skill to collect that ball on the run. Wonderful try from St Helens.
No wonder they're smiling. They are enjoying their rugby league. And St Helens march on at the top of the table, so it seems. Mark Percival with the try, created though by the kick from Danny Richardson. No wonder Matty Smith is having the devil's own job to get back into this St Helens first team. Danny Richardson, 21 in the England night setup, adds the extras. It's now 2 converted tries, and we've got just 12 minutes remaining.
Well, I think Danny Richardson's the most dangerous player on the last tackle. If you put him under pressure and force him into instinctively running and reacting, that's of course what he did there. There was enough of a gap. It reminds me years ago when Darren Lockyer would play for Australia, and you'd work hard for a whole set. On the last one, you try and rush him, thinking we're going to close down Lockyer for that final place. We can't get the kick in. He would then run the ball, his only way to get out of trouble, and they come up with a miracle try. That's what Danny Richardson's capable of, isn't it? Put under pressure as now Warrington attempt to contest a restart. Well, comes up in favour of Saints.
Lynham got to it, but then he palmed it back and it went straight into St Helens' hands. 24-6 Huddersfield lead at Widnes. Well, we're about to debate the man of the match. I think Mark Percival, and we don't know who the legends picked. I think Mark Percival's going to shout.
I think my pick would be Luke Thompson, Danny Richardson, Mark Percival and Stephen Ratchford. They'd be my four, and you could throw in James Roby as well. As always, like I said before, Eddie, he's an 8 or 9 out of 10 every week.
Barry, any thoughts?
Can't argue with that. Can't argue with those selections.
Philip?
I think Johnny Lomax has been very important in terms of attacking play. If you look at how often he gets involved and creates play, they now sets of force the ball, the referee's going to blow the whistle, but I do think Lomax playing. They've had lots of playmakers on the field, haven't they? They've had Theo Farge at times, Lomax, Richardson, Barber. Lots of players who can pass the ball, create opportunities for the runners around them. And
I will say this, Warrington have been blown away. Saints have made them pay for those mistakes. They've made too many mistakes, Warrington Wolves. Once they get rid of those out of their game, they will be a dangerous side to play.
And you can all start wetting your lips in expectation of what's to come next week live on Sky Sports. We will have the league leaders, St Helens, if it stays like this, and if Wakefield don't put a cricket score past the Wigan Warriors on Sunday, of course, it'll be the league leaders against the champions. It'll be the league leaders against the champions next Friday live on Sky Sports. In other words, that's Leeds against the Saints. And as you just saw, we'll also see Warrington in the south of France next weekend.
The problem here with Mike Cooper as he banged his head on the floor in the impact of the tackle.
Winning the wars a bit this year, hasn't he, Mike Cooper, wearing the head guard, the head bandage from an old war wound of a week or two ago.
He was struggling in the first half, Eddie. I think he was stretching his calf a few times. Every time he could get a break and have a stretch, he would do. The force of that tackle, and when he goes down on the ground, he just bangs his head.
He is a player in the prime of his career, though. We've watched him a number of times and remarked how much he's come on. He took that trip down to Australia, hardly missed a game for St George over 3 years. He is lightweight. He won't be much over 100 kgs, won't be much past 16 stone in all money, but he works hard, he's got a good engine, and he's as brave as they come. But I might be taking a few stitches home with him this evening.
Well, voting is now open as we see Mike Cooper disappearing, and interestingly enough, Mike Cooper is one of the 4 contenders for tonight's Man of the Match award, the Betfred Man of the Match. We also have, from the other side, James Roby, Mark Percival and Luke Thompson. So they are the 4 names that you can now vote for the Betfred Man of the Match. You vote via the Rugby League, Our League app.
It's been a professional performance in the second half, hasn't it, from the Saints? Just 8-6 at half-time, 2 points lead, but all of a sudden, you probably go back to the start of the second half, the kick-off. It's not gone right for Warrington since that moment.
I think Warrington, well, they'd be annoyed that they're probably going to lose this match, but they've been in the fight again, haven't they? They've been in the scrap all the way through.
And that's the point I was making. If they tidy up those mistakes, those penalties, they're going to really test any side.
Any more? taking on Westwood and Hill. Ben Westwood back out there. Roby. Little scoot again from dummy half. He pinched one, didn't he, before? Luke Douglas. Back he comes to Richardson. A drop goal. Attempt from Richardson. Gone wide. The crowd was celebrating behind the sticks. James Child had the best view. It went wide of the posts.
Well, they tried to sell it to the referee, James Child, didn't they? All the arms went up behind the sticks. But perfect position from James Child, the referee.
Danny Richardson, not one of the possible man of the match contenders. Widnes fighting back against Huddersfield. 12-26 now, as Kevin Brown looks to get something out the back end of this game for his team. Here is Ryan Atkins. Interesting that Richardson took the shot at goal. I know it would have made it a 13-point advantage. Maybe Saints know, and here's a Warrington penalty. Maybe Saints know that Warrington aren't done yet.
No, 3 scores, isn't it, Eddie? And with the players like Ryan Atkins in the side and Kevin Brown and Tyrone Roberts, step for Matchford, they've got enough strike. As I said before, like Justin Holbrook referenced in his interview before the game, you've always got to make sure you're switched on, you're concentrating when you're playing against this Warrington Wolves side.
Well, here are Warrington camped at the right end of the field for them with Westwood. Anything's possible with Ben out there. 10 metres out. Not the best play of the ball. Clark picks it up though. Here is Kevin Brown. Darrell Clark. Now the short side, gets it away, and a chance here maybe for Toby King. He's held up though, and he's short, says the referee. So play the ball, which he does. To Clark, to Brown. This is Roberts. Here is Ratchford. Dad looking for Mitch Brown. Ran out of pitch. And Ryan Atkins, as we watch all that, is holding his groin. Looks like he is in a bit of a problem. Was chasing that through and then pulled up lane. You see him there in the background. Puts his hand up immediately. In a whole load of strife is Ryan Atkins.
Well, when that player went from left to right for St Helens, they never looked in any stress. Look at the players. They all are communicating, nominating, moving on to the next player. Bit of an acceleration there. There's the problem for Ryan Atkins.
It's a sad way for him to end, isn't it? His 350th appearance here tonight. Been a brilliant performer. Played almost 100 games at Wakefield before he came to Warrington. Played a lot on the left, really, as a left centre, but shifted and played right centre for this season. A late change just before the season started. He's been adapting to that. And it looks as though he may be out for a little while here now, as he limps off in the last 10 minutes.
They're not helping him, are they? Just ushering him off.
It's amazing to think we sometimes forget about Bradford. We don't see them a lot on Sky now, but he started his career at the Bradford Bulls. Think of other players like Elliot Whitehead, John Bateman, the Burgess brothers, Jake Truman, a young scrum half at Casford. We mustn't let that Bradford club fall entirely apart. It's an important rugby league area.
It is indeed. He played actually once for Bradford, but he did start there. You're spot on. He made his name here, though, hasn't he? I mean, he did all right at Wakefield, more than all right, but then he came here with Ben Westwood from the Wakefield Trinity Club, and he's been a great servant. And 4 tries in the season thus far. Here is McCarthy Scarsbrook. Penalty.
Still in contact.
Well, the head went back, didn't it, from Darrell Clark, and just a second little effort wouldn't allow LMS to get up and play that ball. Trying everything just to slow them down. There's some ferocious runs from the likes of Thompson and Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook. They're about to take over the mantle from Alex Walmsley leaving the field.
So St Helens come again, 5.5 minutes remaining, but he's lost the ball as Luke Douglas.
Time is off already. It's all right. Ball's kicked away, time's off.
Well, again, it's that man, Darrell Clark, who's involved. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Luke Douglas is the man, deemed to have made the mistake. So Warrington benefit from that error, but with just over 5 minutes to go, have they got 12 points in them?
Well, Mark Percival, I can tell you, is streaking away at the moment with the votes for the Betfred Man of the Match. Don't forget the Our League app is the place to vote if you want to deny him the award. The other candidates being Mike Cooper, who's left the field, James Roby and Luke Thompson. But at the moment, it looks like it might be Mark Percival as the man of the match, with his hat-trick here. Half of the Saints' points from the England centre. St Helens fans are the ones you can probably hear singing in the background. 100% top of the table. As I say, it's the leaders against the champions next week. This is Murdoch Usilla, though, doing his best. Clark, Crosby. Here's Brown, short ball, Livette.
He's under pressure, Kevin Brown. It looked forward, that pass then to Livette.
This is Brown again. It's the pass wide once more. Toby King plays it. Brown now will hoist it high to the corner. Barber's after it. They've all let it drop. Ratchford has it, but he was offside. Inside the 10, Stefan Ratchford.
Well, enough Warrington jerseys there, but unfortunately, just offside. A referee clear call to Warrington when that ball was kicked.
He set off just a fraction of a second too early, didn't he? Before contact was made.
Obviously, with time running out, Eddie, they've got to be very eager, haven't they? They need the hands on that ball as soon as possible.
Bit of a fight back by Widnes. 16-26 now. Remember that kicked off at 8 o'clock, that one, so there's a little bit more time in that to go. It'll be a dramatic finish. Will there be a dramatic finish here? Well, probably not, with 4 minutes remaining. And apparently Widnes are down to 12 men. Wellington Albert has been sent off.
He's a smart player. Wait till the viewers watch Wellington Albert. He loves an offload.
We might not see him for a while.
No, we might not see him for a while, but when we do, he's a treat of a player.
On halfway, the Saints. Lomax. Zeptea. Ben Westwood's not been far away from him all night when they've both been on the field.
He's been good, hasn't he, in his couple of spells that he's been on.
Richardson. Thompson. Good tackle. And it's that man again. Lomax. Back he comes to Barber. Barber special to finish the night off. Percival looking for 4. Taken out. Oh, it doesn't matter. Richardson's come up with a try. Richardson has come up with a try that is confirmed by James Child. Had Danny Richardson not touched that down, there might have been a penalty for St Helens anyway, because Barber was certainly taken out. And the coach, well, he's smiling, so too Sean Long alongside. And no wonder, because they're now 28-12 ahead. They're about to register a 30-point scoreline here at the home of the Warrington Wolves.
But you know, we've only just started watching Saints in 2018, but they do look like familiar sides that St Helens produce. Mark Percival reads a game so well. That's a nice offload into the path of a player that is prepared to do something. It's a blind offload, it's a kick and hope, but there are enough belief in the Saints shirts that I can make something happen.
And that's the reply, and we're all square now, because wasn't it Mark Percival who scored a try from the Danny Richardson when he broke through, kicked the ball forward? Well, there you go, you can have one yourself, son.
Yeah, Percival was certainly impeded as he got the kick away. But it doesn't matter now, because this man scored the 4 points and he is about to add the extras. And St Helens march on at the top of the Betfred Super League. 30 points to 12, 2 minutes remaining. Comprehensive in the end.
We've got all the hallmarks of a champion side at present, but he knows it's very early in the season. You know, they scored a try as the hooter sounded last week. They've scored one just before it's going to sound here tonight. They can play for 80 minutes, and they've got a different class at the moment to every other team in the league. There isn't that much between them. But there's enough in terms of class to put points on the board, and the fans have just been waving to the Warrington supporters as they now leave earlier for the exits. I think the only worry now for Justin Holbrook, he's got to make sure that he keeps his team's feet on terra firma. Everyone's talking them up, they look the real deal. There's a long way to go.
There is a long way to go. This is only the end of round 5 for them.
I think the statement he's made with Matty Smith means that those players will keep their feet on the ground. If they don't play well, they're out. He doesn't care who they are and what reputation they hold with them. Matty Smith showing his professionalism, holding his nerve, waiting for his chance and opportunity. But this is a special Saints side. Every Saints side that goes on to win things can score tries from nothing.
Well, in 1996, St Helens won 12 in a row at the start of the season. 2006, Daniel Anderson, St Helens did the same. In 1996 and 2006, they took the title. And in 1996, when it was first past the post, they beat Warrington 66-14 at Knowsley Road. Here, meanwhile, is Barber, and he's hacked the ball forward. It's a race between him and Ratchford. Ratchford is dragged over his own goal line. St Helens will end facing a goal line dropout if there's time, but I don't think there will be.
Again, there's a lot of effort, there's a lot of energy in the chase on that kick. And that man, well, he's shown his glimpses in this game, hasn't he? He's stepped up, put on some special plays. And it's a professional performance from Justin Holbrook's men. They'll be really proud of their efforts.
Well, there we go, the full-time siren has sounded. And St Helens have won by 30 points to 12. Mark Percival with the hat-trick. Stephen Price knows he has much work to do still here at Warrington. And well, much talked about Ben Barber, of course. He has played a secondary role tonight. 1 or 2 flashes of brilliance and flashes of inspiration. There's lots of talk about him and the NRL looking at him again. And big question marks in many people's minds about whether he will be here next season. But you have to ask the question whether Ben Barber has enjoyed his rugby league more than he is at the moment playing in this St Helens side.
Well, if you look at him there, Eddie, he's talking to Tyrone Roberts. He's got a smile on his face. It's been an excellent performance. And Saints over the years have always been known as a team that will attack. And if you score 30 points, they'll score 32. Well, the Saints over the last couple of years, I think the defensive attitude has been absolutely top class. We all know that they can score tries, but what we want to do, we want to see, is when they're under pressure, scoring tries, defending well, because good defence will win you titles.
Well, coming up over Easter, of course, there's the traditional Good Friday derby with the Wigan Warriors, and that's never easy for a St Helens team or a Wigan team. You can't predict that one, but this lot at the minute are playing some really good stuff, Barry.
They're on fire. Every player doing his utmost, not only to do his best for the side for that game, doing his best for himself to keep his place in the team. Right, that's a great point you make about Ben Barber. He's enjoying the freedom. He's enjoying the ability to drift in and out of a game. Look at that.
Well, the players are joining in with the Saints Go Marching In anthem with the 2,500 who've been over here tonight. And, well, inevitably, the Betfred man of the match is the hat-trick hero, Mark Percival. Enjoying a joke with you, Angela, as well. Over to you.
Thanks, Eddie. There you go, your Silver Salver man of the match. You're going to get the man of the match with a hat-trick, especially one like that.
Yeah, it's, obviously it's nice to get over for a hat-trick, but I think the boys inside me doing all the work, and I'm just sort of getting walkovers, and they're doing well for me, and I made up at the moment. I'm glad we're doing well as a team.
That last one wasn't a walkover, that was a piece of brilliance. Great break by Richardson. Kick ahead. You must practice and practice and practice that, or did it just come off the cuff?
Yeah, we're just working hard for each other at the minute, and that's what we said early rounds in the Open League. We obviously want to just work hard for each other, and we're doing that at the minute, and it's paying off.
You used to be called the entertainers for years and years. You brought that tag back tonight. It's been very entertaining, even in these conditions.
Yeah, obviously, since Justin's come, he's brought a different style of rugby to us, and he obviously wants us to play, but obviously work hard as well. And I think off both sides of the ball, defence and attack, we're doing that, and it's work. Like I said, it's coming off for us at the moment.
Playing with confidence, Mark. Everybody's on that pitch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what we're doing at the minute. But like you said, it's only early rounds, and we just want to keep working hard.
Well, there you go, there's your cheque, £250 to the charity of your choice. Who's it going to go to?
It's going to cancer research.
Thanks very much, Mark. Congratulations. We've got Justin Holbrook now to speak to the victorious coach. Justin, we saw you smiling as that last try went in. You must be very satisfied with this evening's work.
Oh, definitely. You know, really happy to come away with a good win here tonight. You know, we knew it was going to be tough. I said that at half-time, and we knew it before the game. And you know, we fought all the way to the end in tough conditions again. So yeah, really pleased.
We've seen Percival got the man of the match. Roby had a great game. But what about Danny Richardson? You've stuck with him at 7, haven't you, all this season so far? And it's been worth a gamble.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's an exciting young player, and he's going to get better as the season goes on for us. So, yeah, no, he did some really good things for us tonight. As you said, as did Robes. What a champion he is.
Isn't he just? This conditions tonight weren't conducive for a great game of rugby league, but you still managed to score some tries there that kept the crowd entertained.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good thing, you know, to end up with 30 and then restricting them to just two kick tries. You know, we're in a good place, and we want to keep going.
Thank you. Cheers. Congratulations, Justin. We have that young starlet now, Danny Richardson. Danny, what a great game, and what a way to finish it as well with a try.
Yeah, no, it's good to get a try so early on in the season. You know, I've been 4 weeks now without a try, and for me, that I was panicking. I thought I'd never get one. So.
Oh, there's a long season ahead. I'm sure you'll score a few more, but some great setups of a try, especially that last one for Percival as well.
Yeah, no, you know, it's just that's just off the cuff. That you know, obviously seen him coming, and that was just my instinct, just to do that. So.
It was a patient first half, wasn't it? You knew that if you just live with them and keep the defence really tight, you'd be able to do something in the second.
Yeah, no, all the boys, we back ourselves, and we think no matter what happens, we'll always back our defence. And you know, obviously these conditions, it's going to be like that, a bit cagey, and you know, trying to look after ball possession. And then obviously second half, then that's when you can sort of try and express yourself. So.
How much are you enjoying this opportunity that Justin Holbrook's given you?
Oh, I'm loving it. You know, for me, I just want to play every week, and obviously that's what's happening. And you know, we're winning as well, so it's even better.
That's it, 5 out of 5. You're unstoppable at the moment.
Oh no, well, I wouldn't say that. I don't know, but you know, it's a long season, and get back training on Monday and go again next week.
Congratulations, Danny. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
The brilliant Danny Richardson. Absolutely outstanding, and played his part in what turned out to be a comprehensive victory for St Helens. 30 points to 12. Half-time, 8 points to 6, just 2 in it, but St Helens, as they have done in recent games, well, they exploded towards the end of the game and put the Warrington Wolves away. I wonder what the Warrington Wolves coach Steve Price makes of that, and makes of their 2 from 6 start to the season. He's with Angela.
Steve Price, just give us your assessment of this game tonight.
Oh, we played a quality football team tonight. They were, you know, they were certainly better than us, and you know, especially in the play the ball speed and contact to the ground, and we sort of really couldn't generate any ruck speed when we did have the ball. But you know, credit to them, they're a well-drilled football team.
You did talk at half-time and in your magazine notes as well before the game about discipline and about cutting out the errors and the penalties. Disappointed with the lack of improvement today?
Yeah, the penalties are, you know, 12-6 against us again tonight. So yeah, that's very frustrating. We need to keep working extremely hard to get that out of our game, because you know, I think they had double the amount of play the balls inside our 20-metre zone as opposed to what we had to them. So it's quite hard when you're dishing up that type of stuff.
The opportunities were there, weren't they? But you just can get over that line. Defence is not too bad, but that attack still is eluding you.
Yeah, it was sort of the scoreline flatness in the end, but you know, we're putting ourselves in positions, and then we just can't sustain it through, you know, lack of you know, penalties and being able to play field position, which is killing us.
Thanks for your time, Steve.
Thank you.
Yeah, their own worst enemies, in the words of, I'm paraphrasing actually, Steve Price. I left John Wells at the touchscreen at half-time, with St Helens leading by just 2 points, John. We did suggest, though, that they may explode at the end of the second half. They did just that. Take us through that second 40 minutes.
Yeah, Brian, it was really tight. 2 points in it at half-time, and that's why Steve Price will be very disappointed, because Saints outscored them 4 tries to 1 in the second half. Conditions, as we mentioned, we were able to point out, not conducive to great rugby league. Well, at times St Helens gave us it anyway, didn't they? This was the sole riposte from the Warrington Wolves in the second 40 minutes to try in the corner from Harvey Livett, and then the floodgates opened. Great hat-trick from Percival. This is second. Doesn't he run a good line? doesn't he run a good line, and he's consistent with it as well. And then the man of the moment, Danny Richardson. Percival may well have picked up the man of the match honours, but I think he has grown in stature, not just throughout this game, but every game that we've seen him. He's had to wait for his opportunity, but when he's got it, boy, has he taken it. There's been a couple of false starts back end of last season, but with another off-season under his belt and some good tutelage from Justin Holbrook, you can really see now why he's keeping the likes of Matty Smith out of that starting side for St Helens. They 100%, they come away from here, make no bones about it, this is a very valuable win for them. I'm going to take you to the game breaker then. At 14-12, it was really important that if Saints were going to go and win this game, they needed to make a statement at some point in this second half, and I thought they did that first of all with the work of one particular forward I'm going to single out for some praise. I think he has worked exceptionally well on both sides of the ball throughout the game. He's playing big minutes as well, and another player that Terry O'Connor has got big raps on. I agree with him. You look at what he's able to do. Quick hands from Theophage, and yeah, I think these guys are hard-nosed and they mix it at the coalface. Really, really good stuff. The play that broke the game, and I think that perhaps broke Warrington's spirits, was this, because it's such a clever play. The key man's Ben Barber, and it's his starting point that's significant. So Barber sits on the inside of Johnny Lomax. That means that anybody outside Lomax, if I take this to the point of the pass, here we go. So Dom Crosby at the moment, here's Dom Crosby. He's looking at one man, and rightly so as well. He's looking at Zebteya and looking at neutralising Zebteya's line. Same thing for Atkins. Atkins at the point, even at this point now, he may have an idea, may have an inkling, may have maybe wondering about this line, but his primary responsibility is still this line from Percival, particularly given how strong a line runner he is. And you can't blame him for that. It's very, very difficult to legislate for someone hiding yourself at the wrong side, the inside of the ball player, and then appearing late. Because when he does, and I'll just take this on now, look what happens, because he creates essentially what's an evenly defended play, all of a sudden to a 2-on-1 situation, and really making it difficult for that man, for Atkins. He's now got the devil's own job of who to pick. He's got the best line runner, in my opinion, in the league on his outside in Percival, and he's got the best ball player in the league on the inside in Ben Barber. Lovely little double pump. He's really patient with it as well as Ben. We've got a close-up angle just to show you, just to finish, because it's worth having a look at this. Look at Barber here. All the patience in the world. He wants to commit Atkins. Once he gets him, Percival through the hole. A commanding performance, Brian, from St Helens, and boy, have they sent a really clear message to the rest of Super League with tonight's victory.
Yes, they absolutely have, John. Tremendous subtlety from Ben Barber, a man who's going to join you at the touchscreen after a break. If you want a wrap up of all the Sky Sport, all the sports news from today, and a preview of what's coming up on Sky Sports this weekend, head over to Sky Sports News at 10 o'clock, just a few minutes for that. But stay with us here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. The star Ben Barber will be with John Wells at the touchscreen. We'll get Phil Clark's views on this match, and we'll bring you the tries from Huddersfield victory over Widnes.